All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out as always. So as promised, this is going to be my most up-to-date deck list, deck tech. It's going to go out to my channel members first, but then it's going to be available to everybody. But ahead of PQ season, I'm going to make it available right away for my channel members. So we're going to take a look at my most recent version of the deck list. This is version 4 since Montreal. I mentioned I've been in the kitchen cooking quite a bit since Montreal. To make room for our new piece passing Painful Passage, and to try and round out the deck and account for some awkwardness that I felt on the list in Montreal, which came down to not being having trouble closing out some games because of a lack of runechant generation. So upping my runechant generation, upping the consistency of the deck a little bit by putting in pieces like Funeral Moon, which I'm often looking for an excuse to cut, but I think I'm at the point where I'm pretty sure we can't cut it, unfortunately. It's a card that I love to hate. But anyways, this is the list. This is the up-to-date. This is the list I'm going to be bringing to my ProQuest this Saturday in just a few days. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. So pretty standard loadout, face perg. You know what? It doesn't matter. You could either put Crown of Providence or face perg as a default headpiece, but it's nice to have access to both. There are certain matchups where Faceberg just doesn't feel that great, like against Syndra or really aggro decks. We don't really want Faceberg. Yes, it's nice to strip cards from your opponent's hand in those matchups, but I don't know, that's a good question. Syndra is one that I'm not sure whether we want Faceberg or Crown of Dominion, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely don't want Faceberg. You want something like Crown of Dominion into Guardians and stuff like that, where it's really important that you keep the pressure on. Fixing your hand might be more important than stripping a card. They're not going to go too wide anyways, so they might not care. There might not be that much opportunity to strip a card. So either way, it's really good to have access to both pieces. The rest is pretty standard. Tunic as a standard default piece, Spellbound Creepers, Quill Hand, etc. So, okay, the main board, I like having a 48 card main board if at all possible. So you'll notice it's the standard. I'm still on 2 blue Deathly Whales. We want that consistency piece. You can pitch it every once in a while. You often don't want to be pitching it, but even just an extra couple copies of Deathly Whale so that you can just extend your chains, right? And make rune chance after you close the chain. But we're on 3 of Call, 3 of Deathly Delights. We want as many 2-cost rune gates as possible. So 8 of Deathly Whale, 3 of Eloquent Eulogy, back on a full suite of Funeral Moon in the main board. Helps with consistency, helps with closing out games, helps with that awkwardness of getting that extra rune chant you need every once in a while. 6 of Malefic Incantation in main board. Shadow Puppetries in main board. 2 Phantom Banshees in main board. 3 each of Phantom Wraith and Widespread Ruin, 2-cost rune gates. 3 Widespread Destructions, Machinations, and Widespread Annihilation. I mentioned this before, shout out again to Nico, amazing Flesh and Blood player, good guy, amazing Vynnset player. And we discussed Widespread Annihilation. I agree with him. He was talking about actually potentially targeting this for removal from the list, because the 4-cost can feel a bit awkward, especially if you don't have access to Revel and Runeblood, which I no longer have. So yeah, something to consider. It's still on the list for me for now, but it's something I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm down to 2 of Beseech the Demigod. Essentially, I'm trying to balance a couple things here with this sideboard. I want enough pieces. I tried to cut down, because before we had 7 pieces dedicated to Gravy almost exclusively, Mavrian Skies, which it's not only good into Gravy, it gives us an additional aggressive edge into turtle decks as well, so I definitely don't mind Mavrian Skies, up to 3 of Mavrian Skies. But we also had why can't I think of the name of that card? Swarming Gloomveil. We had Swarming Gloomveil, which I have taken out. Swarming Gloomveil doesn't feel great into any hero other than Gravy. It's not a bad piece, a 0 for 4, but you really need to have your Malefic Incantation set up. And one thing you'll notice is Sonata Galaxia is out of the list. This is the most questionable decision, maybe get out of the kitchen type thing. But I cut Sonata Galaxia can also feel awkward. It's great on turn 0. It's great when you have lots of rune chance, but sometimes it does feel awkward to be able to like give it go again, or like, you know, you have to use eloquence to give it go again or something. So it's like you do have to jump through a couple hoops. It's hard to argue that it's a bad piece. Like, it's a good piece, don't get me wrong. And like very well, like keep it in your list. If it's a good consistency piece, it's good in a lot of matchups. It helps thin your deck. It helps kind of like round down some awkwardness late game. So like totally keep it in the list. I'm trying for now to remove it because of that awkwardness. So instead, I'm going to go back to an OG piece here and try out Read the Runes. So I want access to more very like different pieces that are able to create rune chants for me. So Read the Runes just creates me 3 rune chants. Again, synergizes with eloquence. So I'm looking for more targets to be able to like get more utility out of my eloquence tokens. So I could even like, if I have an eloquence up, I could creepers in a Read the Runes, which just like instant speed generates me 3 rune chants, restores my action point if there's an eloquence in play. Go wide sort of thing. Amazing piece on turn 0. Read the Runes on turn 0 feels so good as Vynnset. Yeah, I'm going back to Read the Runes, going back to the roots and seeing what this piece, how this piece feels in terms of like another option for rune chant generation, which was the main thing that I was feeling the pinch of like awkwardness in Montreal, was just falling on my face a little bit when it came to rune chant generation, especially late game. So I want to see what this feels like. So I'm running 2 of Read the Runes for now. Painful Passage. I really want this piece to be good, and I think the ceiling on this piece is really high. I think it can facilitate 3 wide turns without even like trying too hard. The first game I played on Painful Passage, which you can go check out on the channel, I was able to like convert a 4-card hand into like 3 wide without much setup at all, thanks to this piece. So I do think it gives us another aggressive edge against turtle decks, and at worst, if it doesn't line up, it blocks for 3. So it's not a bad piece. It's just not as impactful as I wanted it to be, which is like, unfortunately, where we've been with a lot of these new Vynnset pieces that they've given. Like Eloquent Eulogy, great, thank you so much. Cull, very good. So it's hard to complain, but the last couple like expansion slot cards that they printed, arguably for Vynnset, have been like, yeah, maybe, but you know, not game breaking. So that's fine. Painful Passage, I'm on 2 of in the sideboard. Again, gives us an edge against those turtle decks. So definitely a good piece, but not a game breaking piece. So I think 2 is appropriate. Don't know that you want 3. Although again, bottom line, it blocks for 3 at a worst case. So not the end of the world. If you want to put 3 in the list, I think that makes a ton of sense. We're still on like default Haunting Renditions and Reduced to Rune Chants for our 6/4 blocks. I think that's enough in the current meta. You're going to put these in against decks that you're not confident you can race, like KO or Syndra or a DIO. I think 6 is enough. For that reason, 3 of Mob Skies, as explained before, it's really good. Again, gives us an aggressive edge against those turtle decks, but also really good against Gravy, where we can set it up, send something at an ally to clear it. Nothing they can do will generate 3 rune chants, and then hopefully send something big at face. 2 of Envelop in Darkness. Again, I love this piece, and it's a place where we can put our Tunic resource if we're not looking creepers. More rune chant generation, +3. It's got a lot going for it, so 2 of in the list still. 2 of Beseech the Demagon, so I cut back 1 Beseech the Demagon because Painful Passage sort of can act as a Beseech the Demagon that we need to jump through more. It's like, this is 0 cost, like opportunity cost to play this. Little more, few more hoops to jump through, but again, blocks for 3, so down to 2 Beseech the Demagon for now. Again, I think it makes sense if you want to do 3. I moved the Succumbs to my inventory because there are certain matchups that you don't want Succumb in. So like, again, like Guardians, Turtle decks, whatever, they're probably just going to give you their hand anyways. And I don't know, Succumb to Temptation can kind of rot. And into certain matchups, it can feel really awkward if you get stuck with a Succumb to Temptation that you just can't get value on. So it's in my sideboard. It's going in into heroes where that disruption is really impactful. So it's in the sideboard for now. Invert Existence, but I mean, I'm not saying it's coming out of the list. I'm just saying this is where it lives in the list because I do like that like 48 and 12 sort of idea. Personally, it's a personal preference of mine. Invert Existence came out of the list for a while, and I think what it was, like, it was the third Painful Passage maybe, or like a third Beseech. I can't remember exactly what these were in like version 3 of this list, but Invert Existence has come back in. On Monday, we had our regular team meeting, and I played 2 or 3 games into Gravy and a few games into Syndra. New Syndra, like just full all gas, no brakes Syndra, especially if they're running Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, is scary. Like, Syndra used to be a deck that I wasn't worried about at all. Like, I would be really, really happy to get paired into a Syndra. I think it's one of our better matchups. I still don't think it's a terrible matchup. I think it's very winnable as a Vynnset, but new Syndra is a little more scary. Like, we definitely need to respect new Syndra. Not that we didn't respect them before, like the game plan was we're on the blocking plan, but new Syndra can just like go off out of nowhere. And if they like end game keep their Mask of Pouncing Lynx up, we gotta be really careful. Mask of the Pouncing Lynx can just produce 8 value out of nowhere. On a late game turn can kill you for sure. So Invert Existence is, I don't know why I went off on a tangent about Syndra and Gravy. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is this is a good piece into both. And I was thinking about Invert Existence because it wasn't in my list. I was thinking about it my whole Gravy game. Like, oh, this would be a perfect opportunity for Invert. This would be a perfect opportunity for Invert. And I identified a lot of different points where Invert would have really changed the game for me in my favor. So just having the Mauvrion Skies as a good piece against Gravy, not quite good enough. And Invert can also catch Syndras off guard if you play it and time it correctly. If they don't see it coming, I mean, it might be face up in your banish zone, but it might also just be in your hand. So especially with Tunic, you could, well, you're not going to be running Tunic against Syndra though, so you're going to have to play it out. But anyways, with Syndra, it can also, you know what, now that I think about it, can be a little awkward that doesn't block, but, you know, I don't know. The bottom line is it could be impactful in Syndra, where you catch them out and you get them, you know, you snag their daggers, forcing them to like instant activate Syndra if they don't want to lose their daggers, to buy them back, which like they'd have to pitch a card that they were planning on, you know, using to send more damage or something. But yeah, the one cost is awkward in Syndra, and the fact that it doesn't block is awkward in Syndra. So whether it's good enough in Syndra or not is something I need to continue to reflect on. Beyond that, still on Oblivion, still made room for Crown of Providence, because again, it's like a good sort of like swap card. There are certain matchups, again, that Faceburg is not super great into, so this could just like help fix your hand. Again, increasing the consistency of the list in certain heroes where that matters. Dyadic Carapace for extra block, Evanfold for Kano. Done. So like, not crazy different, just Painful Passage is a new piece. I cut back on the Swarming Gloomveils, trying to make some room for some more Maroon-Chan generation. Funeral Moon back in the list. So just trying to like up the consistency a little bit, give me more options for Rune-Chan generation. So let's jump on Talishar and see what we can pair into. Let's try another DIO. Will you let me play against you? So again, same deal. We're just going to go full block, siding out all of our aggro pieces, and we'll see if, I don't remember if this was the same opponent that didn't want to play us originally, but we're going to see if we can get a Dash.io matchup. This deck definitely has legs. It's very scary, but I think if you navigate it correctly, I think there's a couple mini games you're playing against Dash.io where one mini game is just keep them off of Boom Grenade value. So you're just like trying to block efficiently and keep them off of Boom Grenade. Okay, our first turn. I wonder, like, Eloquent Eulogy is a good one to just like float to a future turn, but also Deathly Delight is a good one to float to it. So I think, I don't know, I'm just going to banish one of my Deathly Delights. I'm going to pass and put this Painful Passage in Arsenal and see what we draw into. I hope we draw into just non-attack actions and not more attacks. Perfect. So Painful Passage also synergizes really well with these cards that we're happy to banish but that aren't attack cards. So like, I'm happy to banish this Call at the beginning of our turn and then Painful Passage one of these cards to either buff it The unfortunate thing is we don't have any Runechant generation to go too wide. They're coming in for 4 with 0 to 60. Maybe we just float Painful Passage. Chances are, I can't really get full value off Painful Passage this next turn. So unless we do like a Succumb thing. So I think I'm just going to banish like Deathly Delight or something, or Eulogy. So I think we'll give them the call. I'll take 1. If they get a Boom Grenade off top, great, good for them. They got a Boom Grenade off top. Wow. Okay, well, we're not keeping them off of that Boom Grenade value. I wish I had a Haunting Rendition in my hand right now. But whatever. So we lost our first mini game, keeping them off of Boom Grenade value. But you know what? If you're that good that you can just rip Boom Grenades off top, then good for you. I wonder if we hold the Succumb. Like I could just give them... I don't mind having a Eulogy that I'll float, so let's give them the Delight and a Carapace, and then we'll banish the Eulogy, send Deathly Delight, threatening Succumb, and just, we'll sit on the Painful Passage. I'm not in a huge rush for that. So let's block 5, and let's see what they have left. Is this just an Arsenal card? Or are they going to follow it up with the gun? Or are they going to follow it up with what they have in hand? It's probably just an Arsenal, right? Cerebellum Processor. Ouch. So draw a card. They have 2 action points. Draw a card. Maybe stuff that in Arsenal. Or send gun. Or send what you have in hand. Establish a Boom Grenade. Okay. So next turn, I guess they'll have the Boom Grenade. No count. Yeah, no crank, obviously. So banish Eloquent Eulogy, send Delight. They don't like to block, so we're going to be threatening the Succumb. Take a peek at their hand, hopefully. So this is definitely a matchup where Succumb is impactful. We want to play it into heroes that don't really want to block and don't want to be pitching to Arcane Barrier, but what is this? Destroy this, prevent the next 1 Arcane. If you've boosted, instead prevent the next 2. It's 1 cost. Interesting. I don't know that I've seen this piece. Where does it come from? Hunted. I don't really keep up with mech. Okay, so they rip a Teclocore off top, also pretty good, and prevent some Arcane at the same time. Did they take... What is Dash.io's ability is cost 1 more to play? So this cost them 1. Did they AB the other 2? But it's giving us opportunity to play Succumb, so they must have taken an Arcane. I missed something there. We had 2 Arcane, right? Did they AB 2 and rip Teclocore? I don't understand where their other resources went. I missed something. But either way, we get to take a peek. Convection Amplifier. Remove a steam counter. Next attack action card you play this turn gain Dominate. I don't know that I care about that. Heist and Expedite. Let's steal the Heist. Let's steal the Heist. Maybe I'll come to regret that. I don't know if I have to care about Convection Amplifier. But we'll take the Heist for sure. Like, Dominate is a bit awkward, but not if they have... I don't know. We'll see. So that's it. We'll gain a life up to 35. Do we want to send Flail? Well, we should have... that was stupid. We can't break the chain if we are deciding on Flail. Let's just send Flail, because they are not going to give us this. They could give us Teklo Foundry Heart, but we can kind of like tick it away. So they can only give us Teklo Foundry Heart once, really. They're not going to lose it. So yeah, this is the right decision. It's free. We'll gain 2 life back up to 35. We'll make a Runechant. So I'm glad I remembered that. But I shouldn't have broken the chain there. So Teclocore is going to give them 2 resources. We draw into a bit of an awkward hand, unfortunately. Painful Passage, once again, is not doing anything here for us. This is coming in for 3, but Boom Grenade is online, so we're definitely going to give them a card. Banish Funeral Moon or banish Cull? I think Cull has more potential impact. So we'll banish the Cull. We'll give them the Funeral Moon for block. And we'll move on with our lives. They can Cerebellum Processor here and maybe draw into something. Or not. Yeah, Tekla Foundry Heart, make a couple resources. I assume Cerebellum Processor, because this doesn't do anything. We already know that. Why do they need so many resources? Cerebellum. They don't have an action point. Where did the... Whoa. That is suspicious behavior. That is incorrect. Okay, so we win this game. I think we just snap win this game now. You can have that. Dirge, like, I don't really want to be in a place where I'm blocking with Dirge, but it's only 2 value in our hand, and it's preventing Boom Grenade value, so that was definitely insanely incorrect to Achilles. They're playing another Cerebellum, they're going to crank it. I don't understand how Mechanologist works. Like, why did they run out of action points there? Did they do something incorrect? Like, I know Cerebellum eats the resource, or eats the action point. So was that the call then? I don't know. They obviously, they had an awkward hand for sure, especially since we took that heist from them. But breaking, like, now they're just straight up dead. Like, we're just going to keep blocking them out and just whittle them down. Like, they can't prevent our Arcane anymore. They can prevent 2, I guess? I have to time that right, though. So anyways, ideal situation here is we just banish, call, play Malefic, play Eulogy. And that looks like it's going to work out for us. Okay, end the turn. Maybe they're trying to set up some, like, crazy shenanigans that I'm not seeing, but... Okay, play out Malefic Incantation. We'll see how long it takes us to actually get a hand that works or synergizes with Painful Passage. So I'm, like, pretty underwhelmed by Painful Passage after testing with it for a little while, if I'm being completely honest. Again, I do think it helps us into matchups where we need help, turtle decks, but it's tough. Like, a matchup like this where we are mostly just, like, wanting to give up our hand, it's definitely not going to be an amazing piece. So it blocks for 3, which is enough to have going for it. So now they're going to take another 4 down to 24. We're going to make an Eloquence token that we're definitely going to, like, we have Call here that synergizes well with Eloquence. I just have to, like, keep reminding myself of the impact of Eloquence, and, like, we have more pieces now that synergize with Eloquence, so I'm hoping that it becomes more of an impactful piece. We end on a Rune Chant thanks to Malefic Incantation, which makes this reduce really good. All we've drawn into is Deathly Delights and Eulogies. Again, like, awkwardness. I have so, like, I will, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we drew into, like, just a whole Rune Gate attack hand. So playing another Boom Grenade, we've seen all 3 reds now, which is a good place to be. I'll give you cards, my friend. Tobias Bone. Here, have a Vexing Quill hand, and have a Funeral Moon. We want to banish this Eloquent Eulogy because we need an attack, and we still can block 4 here to prevent this Boom Grenade from going off. So I'm feeling good. We'll definitely play another Pulse Wave Harpoon. I'll show you this card, and I'll show you this card, because they can only take a 2-cost, right? So now we're just going to pass and give them the Reducer Rune Chant. We'll go up to 2 Rune Chants. We'll hopefully be able to play this Malefic, but I'm happy to give it to them just to keep them off that Boom Grenade value, but we'll see what they have in Arsenal. I don't know. Convection Amplifier is awkward. Is this a good piece? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Symbiosis Shot is fine. We're going to take that. We just take Symbiosis Shots all day. Just trying to, again, minigame, keep them off of Boom Grenade value, which we've done well for 2 of them. The one that we didn't see coming, we couldn't see coming, so we did not keep them off of that value. So now just banish Eloquent Eulogy, establish another Malefic Incantation. We'll get 2 Rune Chants for the next 2 things we swing. or after the next two things we swing. This did eat our Eloquence token, so we could have... Well, no, we couldn't really have opened. That was fine. That's fine. Eloquent Eulogy. Doesn't matter. So now 3 and 4. They can't prevent the 3. We'll make another Eloquence token. We still have Painful Passage. That, again... Yeah, it could be impactful on a pivot turn where we just want to kill them. Take a bunch of damage when they're not on Boom Grenade, but... For now, we haven't gotten into a situation where it's been impactful. I don't think we want to call. I'm happy to just sit on the call for now, for when it's going to be more impactful. Okay, now we're in a situation where Painful Passage could be, could allow us to go too wide. So banish one of these, Painful Passage the other one, give it go again. We could just do, we could get a bunch of action points. I'm kind of curious to try something. Anyways, we'll have to take a bunch of damage. Does this one matter? I'm going to say no. So we're going to take some damage because we're just going to set up a really wide turn that's going to make their life very awkward. Because if we can walk them down, yeah, we can't really call if we want to do the Painful Passage line. We'll call on their turn, like, to make it more awkward for them to block. When this is banished, I don't care. This is not an impactful card, so we're just going to take 3, go to 23. I don't know. I'm happy to take a bunch of damage here. We don't even really need this Deadwood Dirge, but it's nice. We don't even really need the Malefic. So if they presented something that we actually, like, cared to block, we could just give them those 2 pieces, but they haven't presented anything like super impactful on this turn, so I'm happy to just take some damage here. Gun? Not even. Another Convection Amplifier. I don't understand. Or wait. Oh, I see. That's why it's there. 10 Dominate. Cool. I'll just go to 10. I don't think... I don't know. I mean, cool. Like, I like that. Max V is, like, such a fun card. And, like, giving a Dominate is cool. But, like, that's a win more situation. Like, you're probably just going to be dealing a bunch of damage anyways. Because they probably just did a bunch of blocking before. So, ooh. Let's... Oops. Sorry. I wanted to undo there because I think we Painful Passage the Widespread Ruin. It just gives us a little more information to play with. So I think I banished the Widespread Wraith, or the Phantom Wraith, Painful Passage the Ruin, so that the Ruin is the first thing we're going to swing. So banish that, Painful Passage. Right. Let's trigger them in this order, because what I could do is... Wait. How does that work? Painful Passage. Left to right. They resolve in reversed order that you add them left to right. Pass to leave as is. Why can't I move these? Oh, I just have to click. Okay. So Vynnset trigger first. Because I could call... No, I can't call, because I'd have to give my Deadwood Dirge. Okay, it didn't matter. I was just thinking, like, if you Vynnset trigger first, pay to life, you could call in response before the... I would have to do the hold priority, I think, but hold priority on the Eloquence trigger, and you could call to just bank rune action points. In this case, I don't think it really matters, so it doesn't... It's fine. We're gonna give this go again. We're gonna send the Ruin. We're just going to hold on to that call and strip a card at some point during this turn, just to make it even more awkward for them to block. They're going to take 3 down to 14. Then they're going to have to contend with the 6 go again. There's 2 and 6 coming on the back, but probably more. We'll break the chain. We'll play Malefic. We'll play maybe Dirge. It depends on what we get off top here with this Widespread Ruin. Like, we could go 3 wide here if we get something cool off top. Anything, really. If we see a Rune Gate card off top, we're going to be going 3 wide and probably killing them this turn. So we're going to break the chain no matter what after this. They're giving us a couple equipment pieces for block. They're going to take 3 down to 11. That's fine. We are going to break the chain. And what do we get off top? Come on. We get a Deathly Delight. So we're going to go 3 wide here, which is really cool. No, we're not. We could have gone 3 wide if we banked that. Well, no, we're not going to go 3 wide. Maybe we should have done the call thing. If we held priority and called in response to the Eloquence trigger, before the Eloquence trigger goes off, we could have banked a action point, and we could have gone 3 wide. So that was a bit of a blunder. Because we have an extra action point, because I'm going to play Malefic here. So then we would just like swing whatever else. And then afterwards, with our extra action point, play Deadwood Dirge on the rune chant that the Malefic produces, and then go 3 wide. But I don't mind just floating the Dirge. So let's just see what they do with the... I mean, they can't do anything with the rune chants. So let's see what they... Let's allow them to think about the block first, and we're going to call them no matter what. So they have to play around the call. Otherwise, they're going to be in a situation where they're unhappy. But they're probably just going to take this. Blocking with the Tekla Foundry Heart again. I'll call you. So yeah, it did matter in the end. Max V. That's, well, they wouldn't have gotten that. That's the other thing is like calling. I lost my Deadwood Dirge. I didn't really think about that, honestly. Yeah. But the other thing about call and response is we would have lost the Deadwood Dirge 2 if we did it earlier, so we wouldn't have actually been able to go 3 wide. So I don't think there was a situation where we were going to go 3 wide there. I should have... What did I do? I should have Deadwood Dirged before... I'm not thinking. What I should have done... There was no world where I was going to go 3 wide. Yeah. Because I needed the Malefic for the rune chant to be able to Deadwood Dirge, so I couldn't Creepers, I couldn't like pitch anything, but I should have Deadwood Dirged before. I knew I was going to lose Deadwood Dirge. I didn't. That's the issue. I wasn't thinking about the call and its impact on my own hand. I was hoping to arsenal the Deadwood Dirge, so that was a bit of a blunder. T-Bone. We have 1 rune chant floating, so we move on. Anyways, I should have Dirged, obviously, before I swung the other thing. It would have trickled them down to 2. Made a little... Well, actually, I could have just killed them. I could have just killed them with Vexing Quillhand and Dirge. It wouldn't have killed them. It would have forced cards out of hand. Anyways, we have 1 rune chant floating, so I just want to keep a card. Oblivion's a bit awkward in this hand. But we're going to give them a block of Phantom Wraith here. Wraith versus Ruin is an interesting question, too. Is like, do I want to bank something? But anyways, I blundered a little bit there. Either way, they're at 4. So I think they're dead on our next turn regardless. Okay. So Banish, Quillhand, GG's. But anyways, we could have played that a little more cleanly. They don't have any AB. So unless I'm... They have Arcane Barrier 2 on Visor. I didn't realize that. But anyways, this is going to be very, very awkward for them anyways. I probably shouldn't have broken Quillhand, so I'm making all sorts of mistakes this game. I still think it's fine. So are they really going to be able to pitch another blue to prevent 1 more Arcane? Like, either way, they're going to get trickled down way low and have to give us their hand probably. Okay, they're pitching 2 blues to prevent 3 Arcane. I'm pretty okay with that. They're going to take 1, I assume, down to 3, and then they're going to give us their hand. If we catch them with any items, they're done. So, I don't know. These are 3 blocks. We'll see what they have in hand. I don't know why Talishar's doing this right now. It's not showing us these cards. They're blocking face down, and then they're conceding. GG's. Okay, let's do another one. That was not a great, and this Syndra that is bugged is still here. That's interesting. Ooh, another Syndra. Is this the same Syndra? Okay, no, we actually got a Syndra. Great. So let's see how it goes. So they're letting me go first, which is interesting. This is like an aggro workshop apparently, but don't do what I did last time. I made some big mistakes there. So we'll try and clean it up for this Syndra matchup. I have a Syndra specific matchup guide because it's a little bit different. We are going to, so we're choosing to do crown. Yeah, we'll have to think about that one. All the defensive pieces plus invert. We are on dyadic. So, I don't know. Let's see. I feel like invert could be a little more awkward than helpful. But let's test it. There's no harm in testing it. It's not amazing that I don't get to float a Rune Gate card to my next turn. However, Deadwood Dirge on turn 0 is pretty cool, and Malefic Incantation on turn 0 is pretty cool. So we can't have it both ways, but that's not bad setup, and having a Shadow Puppetry in Arsenal is also pretty cool. So we'll be able to go 2 wide next turn pretty easily. We can still give them some... They're on Mask of Momentum, so let's think about our blocks. So I do think that, like, and I know, like, these all gas, no brakes Syndra decks are mostly on Mask of Momentum. Do I give them a Shadow Puppetry here? Make it a little awkward. I'll give them a Shadow Puppetry here. I don't need them both. So give them the Shadow Puppetry, and then it's just going to make their, like, lining up the Mask of Momentum a little bit more awkward, maybe. Rising Resentment. If I block this, then they literally can't. Yeah, so we block that. What am I talking about? I can go 2 wide. I'm not on it today. Because I can't, like, I need both of these to be in banish in order to go 2 wide. So I don't, yeah, I'm on something. I'm not, so the dagger's going to deal 1. And then they're going to buy them back. Right? And then come in with dagger, dagger. Either way, I can just give them this because I'm not going too wide. I don't know what I was talking about earlier, but just Whale with a Shadow Puppetry is good enough. We'll end on 3 Rune Chants. And again, we're on the blocking plan, so I'm glad I caught that, though. I don't know what I was thinking there. So we're just going to take this. Oh, I guess they didn't really have the resources for it. So I'm gonna Shadow Puppetry. I mean, we could go 2 wide if we get something cool off top. So we took 8 damage. We're gonna send 9 back, and we're gonna end on 3 Rune Chants, which is great. So it'll keep us floating like Malefic Incantation early game, which is another reason why like Sonata Galaxia is a good piece. Is that just like Malefic Incantation is such an important consistency piece that having extra copies to it or having extra access to it is never a bad thing. So Sonata Galaxia might make its way back in the list. I'm just trying something a little bit different right now. Trying some low opportunity cost Rune Chant generation cards instead of just like digging for Malefics. We'll see if that makes a difference. But yeah, so I think we're doing okay so far. One blunder that we fixed, but I don't know what I was thinking there with going 2 wide. That's another thing about Vynnset is like, in order to be good at Vynnset, like you need to be putting a lot of reps in. And the last month and a half was a slower month, as you could probably see on the channel. Slower month for me in Flesh and Blood. Like busy month for me in work and life, but a slower month when it came to Flesh and Blood. So I feel a little under-practiced when it comes to Vynnset. You need a lot of reps to be able to competently pilot this deck. There are a lot of moving pieces to it, and there are a lot of different ways you could play certain lines. I hope our opponent comes back. I would like to finish this game if possible. But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, Syndra is definitely one that we need to keep our eye on. I still don't think it's the worst match for us. I think it's a decent match, but like, yeah, this super aggro version of Syndra is, and Claw of Vynnset is like so, they get so much value off of that card against us. Okay. Well, I think we lost our opponent, unfortunately. Which is a little unfortunate. I hate editing. I might leave this in. I mean, we still discussed things, right? There was value here in the first few hands that we played against the Syndra. So let's see what else we can pair into. That other Syndra that's just bugged is still there. Competitive CC, what are you? You are unavailable for a game. Okay, one more game. Hopefully there was still value in there and like me talking through and making mistakes against a Syndra. But we'll see if we can get a different hero now. So we looked and we played against a -io. We talked about some ideas when it came to Syndra. And we played a few hands against a Syndra. It's a little unfortunate that we weren't able to get a full game in. And now we're going to have a mirror. Beautiful. Okay. Mirror is not something that I'm overly concerned about. I do have a Vynnset matchup guide. I just kind of go with a blended game plan into Vynnset. Faceberg definitely. Tunic definitely. And then like I put my Haunting Renditions in because it's kind of a flex piece. And then some aggro pieces as well. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I don't know. Vynnset's fun to play. There's only like one other local. Abe from Team Zen State was playing Vynnset for a little while, but is no longer, hasn't had any reps on Vynnset in a little while. We have one other local that plays Vynnset, so I could reasonably encounter Vynnset at the PQ. Maybe if somebody came from out of town as well. So here we're just going to set up Malefic Incantation. Definitely don't want to arsenal this Haunting Rendition, so banishing our only banished target, Eloquent Eulogy. Setting up a Malefic Incantation and putting a call in our arsenal, moving on with our lives. It'll be interesting to see how our opponent, because I'm not that familiar, honestly, with the mirror. So we'll see how... Oh, they're on Read the Runes, too. That's awesome. So set up a Read the Runes, 4 rune chance, and they're also going to do some setup here, so we're not going to get our value off of Haunting Rendition, unfortunately. That's okay. We're going to be the first to put some pressure on here. So we're going to banish this Phantom Wraith. We're going to beseech the Demagon, taking damage, succumbing. So we'll be able to go too wide. I wish you could Haunting Rendition your own damage. That would be really cool, but that's not how it works because we're paying life, we're not taking damage. So we're going to send this Phantom Wraith for 2, 1 unpreventable, and 9. Threatening a succumb that they don't know about. We're going to make a rune channel on the back, so we'll be able to follow it up with Eloquent Eulogy no matter what. We're also going to be able to call them. Do I want to call and get rid of this Haunting Rendition is the question, though. So we'll see. They chose not to AB anything. We have the exact same loadout, which is cool. Makes sense. Pretty standard. I don't understand why... Okay, it flipped them over after. Maybe that's a new Talishar thing. It just keeps them, like, as you're putting them on the table until you confirm that those blocks are happening. It's kind of interesting, actually. So, they're on Bounding as well. That's cool. I like that. I've been considering that card, and I've been testing on it. So, I think we are still going to succumb, because we're going to send the Eloquent Eulogy. Do we call the last card from their hand? No matter what, they're sending this Widespread Destruction. I think we'll call. I don't really need this Haunting Rendition, do I? Meh. We didn't get our value out of it. It's fine. So we'll call their last card. We kind of helped them out, unfortunately. But that's okay. We're still going to be able to Eloquent Eulogy. So another 1 in 5. They're going to have to go to 31. And then they're going to send probably the Whale back at us. I don't think they send the Destruction now that we don't have an Arsenal anymore. But yeah, I don't know if... I think Call was probably still the play. Unless we held on to it. If we held on to it, this would be in our hand. We draw one fewer cards. But then we kind of like force them to get the widespread destruction out. That's something to consider. We didn't draw into a Rune Gate card, which is a little unfortunate. So yeah, definitely now they're sending the whale. We can't really do anything to reliably prevent the Rune Chain generation. If I had a blue, I'd be into it, but... okay, we're gonna banish... yeah, this is not good. Give them Shadow Puppetry. Banish Cull, set up Malefic, put Shadow Puppetry in Arsenal. Not good. So this is the second time we've fallen on our face. I mean, fine. So I don't know that they want to break Quillhand this early. So, well, and they haven't, yeah, I don't know. Maybe they do. Succumb will hit, they'll look at this, that's fine. They can have whatever they want. Discard the Cull, probably have us discard the Cull, I assume. And then we'll just banish Shadow Puppetry, set up Malefic. Or they're making us, so we'll still be able to banish Cull and set up Shadow Puppetry in Arsenal. I don't hate that. Flail is an interesting quandary. I'll give them Shadow Puppetry for that. I think that's an okay trade. I want to keep them off Rune Chance, make that really awkward. You're going to have to work to get that widespread destruction out. We got to work too because like we are in an awkward situation. Oh, never mind. Flail with, they're not going to have to work. That's okay. I forgot Flail with the widespread Deathly Whale. I should know this stuff. They're going to end on 2 Rune Chance, so they'll be able to get that widespread destruction out. So maybe the Flail, but I don't like having the Shadow Puppetry in Arsenal is not going to be super, super impactful for us, so. We could force 2 wide if we want to break Quillhand, which feels a little weird. So we would banish Whale, Painful Passage the Ruin, give it go again, and then we'll have to break Quillhand to send the Whale. So it feels a little forced. I think probably what we're going to do is be happy to block with everything except for the widespread Ruin. They're choosing to send the Phantom Wraith instead of the Destruction. That's an interesting choice because I sometimes, even though widespread Destruction doesn't have a target, it's a little bit harder unless they're gonna like Arsenal Dirge or something. I think I'm just gonna prevent all of this. So we're just gonna try and reset. We're kind of at life parity. So just gonna try and reset here a little bit. I think we just give them both of these. I don't know if we need to sit on Painful Passage to wait for an opportunity for it to be impactful. I think we'll just get 3 value off of it right now and call it a day. They're gonna Creepers. What are they gonna Creepers? A Malefic. Okay. And send what? Eloquent Eulogy with the floating resource. Okay. I think that's fine. I don't think... Yeah, there's no real... We didn't take any damage, so we couldn't have called there. I was just thinking about, like, opportunity. Anyway, so they'll just... It's 4 damage. They'll get an Eloquence token. I think that's fine. 1 Rune Chant from Malefic Incantation is probably the most important thing that line did for them. So we have exactly the same setup on either side. All I'm going to be doing is sending this Widespread Ruin for 2 and 6, 1 on the back. Their Malefic's a little more impactful because it's a red. It'll stick around a little bit longer. But they still have this Widespread Destruction that they're having might have a little bit of a hard time getting out of their banish. So the only difference we've seen so far between our decks is the Bounding Demagon. Pitching Oblivion. That makes sense. You're nowhere near being close to Oblivion. Close to having enough Rune Chance for Oblivion to be impactful is what I'm trying to say. Okay, So prevent those two. They don't want to lose anything off top of deck, I guess. I don't know that that matters. Taking 6, though, so they will still lose something from top of deck. Do we call? Probably. I don't need to sit on this call. It will restore one of our action points, so we could flail. Probably flail. There's nothing here that they really want to block with. But we do... I don't know. No, we don't need to pay life for that. I think we flail. Because they don't want to give us Tunic. The resource is up. They're going to have to give us a card from hand. They'll have to give us another card from hand. They give us a Deathly Delight. So I wonder if that means they have another... So we'll send the flail. It'll also give us potentially some ammunition here. Because it was a Widespread Ruin that we sent, right? Yeah. So let's see what they do if they want to give us a card. If it's another 2-cost Rune Gate, actually it doesn't matter now that they have the Deathly Delight. But we're kind of loading them up on their... Either giving them ammunition, I don't know. They're going to give us Tunic for this. Interesting. Okay, that's fine. So we're either helping or hindering them, and I don't know yet. It'll depend on what they have in their hand. And they get more ammunition, and we get no ammunition. So this is getting a little bit scary, but if we play it correctly, it could be a problem for them. So they're banishing a call. So we can't give them opportunity to play the call at instant speed unless they hurt themselves. So we have to block whatever they send at us, which is fine. We're a little hurting. I might break Quill Hand on this next turn, honestly. Okay, so we're going to prevent these two Rune Chants. Because I don't want them to have call for free. I want them to have to work for it. Because call for free with Eloquence is pretty good. Okay, they don't have creepers anymore. So let's think reasonably what's going to happen. If I take damage, they're going to call... Restoring their action point, they have 1 Rune Chant. They could Quill Hand and send... Yeah, that could spiral. So we're going to block this. I wonder... No, we're probably going to have to face Purg and hope for the best off top. So this will strip their hand. And if... I mean, we can... Yeah, we're gambling for sure, but I don't see another road forward. We could just face Purg. No, I don't know. I think this is the way. And just hope for the best. So they're going to discard that card. We're going to draw a card. It's going to be the best card you've ever seen. Pretty good. Do we now force this with Quill Hand is the question. So they're going to Arsenal that. Or no, not Arsenal. They're going to take 3 to Blood that. The question is, I don't hate Quill Hand Banshee and sitting on this knowing we have Tunic up. I think we're going to do that. It's kind of best of both worlds. So I'm just going to send 10 at them because they're at 1 Rune Chant. What do they have in their Vanish Zone? They have 2 3-cost rune Gates, so they need some Rune Chant production here. They're pitching to the Rune Chants with a blue Deathly Whale. It's a fun, the mirror is fun to navigate, because yeah, I kind of know what their shenanigans are up to, but they could have a Funeral Moon, they could want to take some damage. Looks like they're going to face Purg our Envelop, which is a little ouchy. That's okay. How many, we gave them 1 at block, so we have no more Envelop in Darknesses. But they full block this. Not a great situation. Maybe we should have just enveloped that turn. Now we're without our Quill Hand, which is a bit painful, but we'll see. Maybe a mistake. I'm a little bit afraid of what they're going to be able to string together with all this ammunition here. That whale is what's really scaring me. Whale Malefic, but yeah, they need some setup here, so we'll see. Let's see what we draw into. Could reset here. We haven't seen any Dirges, so Dirge can bail us out a little bit without Quill Hand. But we're digging for some Rune Chant generation now. without Quill Hand is a little bit awkward, but I think no matter what, we had to break Quill Hand there. So Eulogy is pretty good. Ooh, they banishing a widespread annihilation is crazy, actually. They're gonna Vexing Quillhand annihilation me? Huh. They're gonna have a hard time getting rid of all of this. Interesting. So we're just gonna give them our hand, and that's okay, I think. So let's just grab this Tunic resource now. 1. 1. So they are gonna, I mean, it's not an amazing situation we're in. But I'm just gonna give them our hand. We're gonna reset. They're not gonna be able to call. They're gonna take 3 to Blood Debt, go to 17. With their Malefics are kind of like floating them. Because no matter what, next turn they're going to be able to do... They might be able to string a 2-wide turn pretty easily. But we'll see. Hold on. Sorry. I just skipped our turn, but I wanted to swing Flail here since they don't have any... It's basically a choice, like if they want to give us a card from hand. Sorry. Okay. So don't skip. Doesn't matter. Send Flail. Beautiful. So now, do you want to give us a card? We're keeping them off call value pretty good too. Like, doesn't make sense to call now unless they just want to get rid of it from their banish zone or stack their banish zone. I don't know. I gotta assume that they're gonna go 2 wide next turn. But that might be okay. We have a bit of a life lead, so we just need to draw a Dirge, I guess, like Dirge and something. But we're kind of like, just the way that the tempo has played out, we're sort of like we're playing defensive on the back foot. But you got to be willing to pivot, right? Which is another reason that Vynnset's pretty good. Like, she can pivot pretty easily. So they're going to let us have this, make a rune chant, which is great. They'll go to 16, but yeah, they're gonna present some big damage on their next turn. There's kind of no way around it. It's too easy to do when you're at 3 rune chants and have a whale banked, unless they drew into a very awkward hand. But even if they drew into a very awkward hand, they just need a go again. They just need some way to get go again. This is gonna produce 1 rune chant. It's gonna be easy enough for them. I don't know. Well, the destruction though is the thing, eh? Like 3 costs is hard to do. I think they should have sent the destruction before. So we can either, I don't know, we're going to see what they do. I'm going to see what they do. If they send the whale, I mean, they have to do go again whale. Okay, banishing another whale. What are these mystery cards? Shadow Puppetry. That's a really good one. So they're going to double whale. Take the damage to Vynnset, go to 15. They're going to double whale no matter what. It'll be hard for them to triple unless there's a Dirge in here. They could go 3 wide, maybe. There has to be another go again, or a succumb. No matter what, we're gonna take the rune chance. Because yeah, there's nothing we can do. They're gonna send whale. I just don't know what their other thing's gonna look like. Grim. Breaking Grimoire is crazy. They're gonna call? Huh. Do we call away if they're gonna call? Yeah, they're gonna call. Just to They pitched a Delight. So what were their last 2 cards? What did they call? Another call. I see. I think this is okay. We're going to call the Wraith. I think what's going to happen is we're going to take like 9 or 10 damage. But they're on a clock now. I think we call the Wraith. Then I think we call... The Hunting Rendition is what's going to allow us to play the Wraith next turn. So I think we call one of the other ones. Probably not the Whale. I'll just call this Painful Passage. And then we can prevent 5 damage. So we are going to take some damage. Like, there's no way around it. Is there any preventing this hit? I don't know if I care to prevent this hit. So if they want to put more in their Banish Stone, good for you. So they're not going to be able to send the Destruction at the end. Because they're only going to have... They have to break the chain in order to get enough rune chance to send the second Whale. And then they're going to break the chain. Like, they'll send the Destruction next turn, but... so we'll definitely not do that. And then I don't know. Do we... We can block this entire... No, we want to swing. So 0... Whatever. We're going to pitch this Hunting Rendition. Prevent that. Make a rune chant. Give them 3. Take 3. And then take another 8 down to 10. But they're going to take 2 damage down to 13. And we're going to send 8 back at them. I don't think, unless I'm missing something, like they're not, like they can, I guess, swing Flail at the end because they have a ton of action points from the call. Like all they can do is break chain and send either Whale or Destruction. Probably Whale is the call. So we're going to take 8 more damage. They're going to end on 2 rune chants. That's fine. We'll go to 10. They'll take 2 down to 13. They'll have 2 rune chants. So no matter what, they're going to swing Destruction on their next turn. This is a really close game. Really close game. We had some awkward hands, but I think we navigated it okay. I think they're still on the front foot a little bit. They're likely a little bit ahead. Oh, they gained some life. Flail. Does it matter whether they end on 3? No. We'll just take it. Even though, like, Creepers is unlikely to do anything right now. Like, I don't know that it matters if they end on 3 or 2. There's not much difference. So either way, we're going to keep pressure. They have no AB is another consideration. So do you want to give me 2 cards? Either way, you're going to send something at me. That's fine. Where we could fall on our face here now is Rune Chant Generation. So we need to draw into a Deadwood Dirge, essentially. So, I don't know. I think, yeah, they are still a little bit ahead. Who went first? Me? I don't remember. I don't think I had a great opening hand, though. So they're actually going to take 3 down to 7. We'll see what they actually have. Are they able to go 2 wide again? Maybe. They go again and then pay for something if they have a blue. That could be kind of awkward for us. So banish that. Yep, they're going 2 wide. Puppetry Whale is just such a vibe. Oh, this is going to be a little painful. So obviously not preventing that. Is there a world where we care about these rune chants? We go to 5. I think preventing the hit is important. We're not sending anything on our turn. So we're gonna take some rune chant damage and we're going to prevent, like, we're not in a great place right now. So we're gonna take 3 more down to 2. What is this? If that's like a beseech, we're in trouble. wonder what they have in Arsenal. If it's a Succumb, then we definitely played that correctly. So we're going to take 3 down to 2. And then prevent the 6. They'll go to 5. And then we hope they fall on their face. I think that's our only way out right now. Okay. So let's see. So you're going to go to 5. You're going to get an Arsenal. But then you're reset on Rune Chance. You're in the same situation we're in. So the hope is that... I mean, they'll probably just play something from hand. But that's easy enough for us to respond to. So we'll see. Game's not over. We're definitely not, like, super happy. But... yeah, and this hand is awkward. So we're probably going to give them both of these pieces, but we might be able to send a little sneaky widespread destruction at them. Ah, it's a dirge. It's a dirge. And a besiege. They're going to force us to 1. Are we just dead? I don't know. They're going to force us to 1. Okay, this is all they're doing. Let me think about this. So, I mean, we're going to take this. Do we Tunic Resource? If we Tunic Resource Haunting... it'll make us a rune chant. We'll float 1 damage prevention. There'll be 8 left to cover. And then we block 2 6s and our equipment. And then, oh no, but I need my Funeral Moon as well. There's no world where... I can play the Funeral Moon, right? So Tunic Resource, Haunting... make a rune chant, float 1. I need to cover the remaining 8. Yeah. There's no world where I send one of these attacks, is there? And then if I need to... I can't pressure. I can Funeral Moon. It's too bad that one of these wasn't a 2-cost Rune Gate card. It would be a much different situation. Because I need to play the Haunting and the Funeral Moon. But then I also need to give them both of these pieces. So I think the best case scenario is I'll grab the Tunic Resource. I will prevent this with the Tunic Resource. I will... oops, I need to go back. I need to sequence this correctly. 1. Then I need to discard the Haunting Rendition. Let this ping. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that covers the full 9. And I just have to hope that they fall on their face. Because if they have 1, they just need a unpreventable to close the game out, which is like not that hard to do. Especially they're at enough life that they can close it out with Flail. So I think I'm probably dead. Definitely don't want to pay 1 life. I'm making some rune chants though, so it's not over. It's not over. It's not looking great. They just need a Shadow non-attack to close the game out. So I don't know. I'll have to review to see like where we fell on our face. We definitely had a couple awkward hands there. So banishing Bounding Demagon. We just gotta hope again that Painful Passage does it. So that's it. GG's. Good game. So banishing an Eloquent Eulogy and death. Good game. A little too bad. We almost clawed back there, but again, I'm gonna have to review the tape to see what went wrong. I think we had a couple awkward hands there that put us on the back foot, and we couldn't really like restabilize. Yeah, they played well. Their the early breaking of it ended up working out, but early breaking of Grimoire was an interesting one, and that widespread destruction got stuck in their banish zone for so long. So this is what I was talking about, like sending it even though you're not targeting an arsenal. Sending it when you have 3 rune chance is probably the call, so that like it's way easier to get a 2-cost rune gate card out. So those are the 2 observations I saw on the other side of the deck. It didn't matter, obviously they played well, and they got there with the unpreventable in the end. There was a world, like, I mean, obviously, I don't know, yeah, they don't draw into their unpreventable. That game ends a little bit differently, but anyway, super fun game. Thanks to all my opponents. Hopefully you found value in that. Talking through sort of my list and what I'm thinking here. So yeah, Painful Passage, not sure, not super sold on. I think 2 of in the sideboard for now makes sense. Read the Runes. We didn't really play a match where it was impactful or where we like wanted to side it in. So I don't know. They played, opponent played it. It looked pretty cool. So I like it. I'm looking forward to testing it some more. Invert Existence is another one where I'm just going to continue to reflect on. It just seems like too much of an important piece against Gravy, and considering how much of an impact Gravy's still making in the meta, I don't know. So I'm going to continue to cook. I'm always in the kitchen with this list. So yeah, thanks so much everybody for your ongoing support, to my channel members for your support. If you want to consider becoming a channel member, even at the lowest tier, I'm going to start making my personal deck list available in the Discord for what it's worth. And in the Discord, like, I'm always open to answering questions and stuff. So be sure to tag me so that I can see your question and address it, because I'm not really great at keeping up with, again, social media and Discord. So anyways, thanks so much for your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll chat soon. Cheers.